Loki has officially premiered on Disney+. I, for one, have been extremely excited about this series since it was announced way back, in the first episode. It did not disappoint. This is going to be my review for episode 1, titled Glorious Purpose. There may be some spoilers ahead, so just be aware of that. To clarify for anyone not understanding the timeline of events, this is not the same Loki that died at the beginning of Avengers Infinity War. To catch you up, the episode opens back in Avengers Endgame, where they went back in time to 2012 during the Battle of New York, where Loki picks up the Tesseract and disappears. Now, the official opening scene of the episode picks up right where that left off. We get to find out what happened to Loki after he disappeared through the portal in Avengers Endgame. So from here on, everything he does deviates from the original timeline. And that's why the Time Variance Authority tracks him down. So now they've captured him, we get to the Time Variance Authority, and I thought it was pretty amusing how all of the stuff, all of this superior technology, and everything looks like something straight out of the 40s or 50s. Make sure you look around and see how everything gives a subtle nod to time. The wall decor, the TVA logo, the shield on the wall. The shield has an hourglass right in the center, and their mascot is a clock. You'll notice that when Loki's being processed, there's a cat. Now, I wonder if that's the same species as the cat we saw in Captain Marvel. Now, if you're unclear as to what the Time Variant Authority is, the writers were very nice to give us a nice little cartoon scene that not only explains the time variance to us, but it also explains it to Loki at the same time. So there's that nice introduction that they really don't need to spend any more time on, because you're watching this going, oh, I get it now. Next we get to Owen Wilson's introduction as Agent Mobius. He's an investigator for the TVA. In this introduction scene, just like in WandaVision, this scene may or may not be another misdirect for Mephisto. If you recall, everyone thought that he was going to be the big bad at the end of WandaVision. Turns out he wasn't. Or maybe he was and they just haven't gotten to that yet. And just to clarify, if you don't know, Mephisto is basically Satan. But we'll have to wait and see as the season progresses. So you might be asking, at this point, why doesn't Loki just use his powers? This is answered very directly in this episode. No magical powers work at the Time Variance Authority. Even the Infinity Stones don't have any power. In one scene, there's a whole evidence box full of Infinity Stones that are completely inert. Alright, so what's the driving narrative behind this episode? Well, obviously to get Loki to partner up with Owen Wilson's Agent Mobius to solve a mystery. But in order to get to the buddy cop scenario, there's so much emotional growth, character development, and backstory that we learn about Loki in such a short time. By the end, you really feel sorry for him and you just want to give him a hug. I love that Loki's finally given something to do other than just being the one-dimensional, sort of bad guy, sort of good guy comic relief. We really get to learn about Loki. Or is that just what Loki wants us to believe? We'll see as the season progresses. I really enjoyed this episode and I look forward to the rest of the series. Tom Hiddleston not only gets to show off his comedy chops, but also his dramatic range as well. He just keeps you laughing through the entirety of the first 10 minutes. Then in the last 10 minutes, you really feel his sense of loss and sadness. I, for one, am really excited about this series. Have you watched the first episode yet? What are your thoughts? Is this whole Marvel Extended Universe just not your thing? Leave it in the comments below. But until then, remember, no capes.